Shanda Sharer's murder is one of the most tragic and disturbing crimes in American history, involving extreme cruelty and young perpetrators. It illustrates the dangers of teenage violence, peer pressure, and the destructive impact of jealousy and revenge. Shanda was born in 1979 in Pineville, Kentucky, and after her parents' divorce, she moved to New Albany, Indiana with her mother. There, she attended Hazelwood Middle School and was known for being a friendly, popular girl with many friends who loved cheerleading. Unfortunately, her life took a dark turn due to a toxic love triangle. The conflict began with Melinda Lovelace, who was emotionally unstable and possessive. She had previously been in a relationship with Amanda Heverin, but when Amanda showed interest in Shanda, Melinda became consumed with jealousy and hatred. Melinda made several threats against Shanda, which were dismissed by many as dramatic, but they soon turned into a horrific reality. In January 1992, Melinda, along with 3 other teenage girls, Lori Tackett, Hope Rippey, and Toni Lawrence, concocted a plan to abduct and kill Shanda. The plan involved tricking Shanda into leaving her house by convincing her that Amanda wanted to meet her. Once Shanda got into the car, the girls drove her to a remote location where Melinda was waiting. There, Melinda threatened Shanda with a knife, and they tied her up and tortured her for several hours. Shanda was beaten, burned with cigarette lighters, and even had her throat slashed. When she didn't die quickly, they stuffed her into the trunk of the car and drove to Lori's house, continuing the torture. At one point, one of the girls heard Shanda screaming from the trunk while they stopped at a gas station. But instead of helping, they took her to a secluded field, poured gasoline on her, and set her on fire. Shanda was still alive when they set her on fire, which made her death even more agonizing. The following morning, 2 hunters discovered her burned body in a field. Authorities launched an investigation, and the 4 girls acted with alarming indifference, even bragging about their actions. Eventually, Toni Lawrence, the least involved, confessed to the crime. The trial was highly publicized, and the prosecution sought justice for the brutal murder. Melinda and Lori were seen as the main perpetrators, and both pleaded guilty to murder, receiving sentences of 60 years. Hope Rippey was sentenced to 50 years, while Toni Lawrence, who had cooperated with the authorities, received a 20-year sentence. The murder of Shanda Sharer raised important psychological and sociological questions about the motivations behind such violence. Peer pressure, groupthink, emotional instability, and unresolved issues like abuse played significant roles in shaping the actions of the perpetrators. Melinda's extreme jealousy over Amanda's new interest in Shanda ultimately led to her committing the crime. This case highlighted the dangers of teenage violence and the profound influence of peer pressure. It also prompted debates about whether minors should be tried as adults for extreme crimes. In an unexpected and remarkable act of forgiveness, Shanda's mother, Jackie Vaught, later met Melinda Lovelace as part of a restorative justice program. Although she could never forget the tragedy, Jackie chose to channel her pain into advocating against violence and bullying. The case has had a lasting impact on society, drawing attention to the consequences of unchecked aggression and the need for more intervention in troubled youth. The murder of Shanda Sharer serves as a chilling reminder of how violence can manifest in young people, especially when fueled by jealousy, rage, and emotional turmoil. It remains a heartbreaking example of the devastating effects of peer pressure and the urgent need for empathy and prevention in society. Despite the justice that was served, the case continues to resonate, underlining the importance of compassion.